Yo, yo, what's good? Welcome to the Broken Clock Podcast. I am Jabari. Thank y'all for tuning in. Real quick, please hit subscribe, please like, please comment, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you think I could be doing better. I'm obviously still real new at this. I've been going for a little over 3 months now. Started in middle of October. Still love doing this, having a great time. Obviously, I gotta do it more, and I'm gonna start doing it more. I know I say that every episode. But I'm still having a great fun time doing this, man. Just a fun hobby to do. It's good, clean fun. Just ranting and rambling about what I like to talk about. Real quick, the last 3, 4 videos I've posted aren't as clear. Like the quality isn't as good as my first 3 videos for some reason, and I'm really not doing nothing different. I thought it was the distance on how I was doing. I don't like I said, I'm super novice when it comes to cameras and editing, doing any of that stuff. So, I hope this video is not as bad. The last video I posted was me and Randall breaking down this Christmas. That was real fun to do, but it didn't look how I wanted it to look, man. I don't know why. I'm not doing anything. I think we were too far away. I don't know. If you can help me out, please, help me. But just listen to me. It's about what I'm saying. Okay, I'm wearing. I look like a bum right now. Okay, so it's not about how I look. Just listen to what I'm saying. It's a Friday night here in Atlanta. 8:20 Friday night here in Atlanta. January 9th. The wild card start tomorrow. The NFL wild card, the NFL playoffs start tomorrow. That's what I'm breaking down today. I'm breaking down the wild card, breaking down all 6 games, previewing them. Got predictions. Not gonna try to be on this too long. Definitely gonna keep this video well under an hour. Definitely, I just want to hit these real quick. I'm gonna try to record tomorrow night, and I'm gonna try to record Sunday night. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I feel like this is a pretty lit, like an extra lit wild card weekend, man. I feel like usually it's about 2 games that you just know by the third quarter gonna be over in the wild card, especially since they added this extra team and it's what 2 more games I think. So it's you got teams that win 13 games that are in the wild card. That wasn't happening. That wasn't happening a decade ago. You know what I mean? So we got a great matchup. I can't wait to talk about it. And then at the end when I get done talking about that, just a little gimmick, just a little side conversation I wanted to have. I'm a not rank. I'm gonna list my top 3 worst sports losses as a fan. Obviously, you know what I mean. It's just something I was thinking about talking about today. Just something that's fun. Something I know I can ramble and rant about off the dome. No notes. Just go. It didn't take me long to think of the 3 worst losses because I'm a crazy sports fan. But let's get into the NFL playoffs, man. 6 games. We got 2 games tomorrow night. 2 games Saturday night. 3 games Sunday, and then we got the uh Monday night playoff game. They've been doing that for a few years now, and my gut I'll get to it when we talk about it, but I don't be liking the Monday night playoff games because it just don't feel right. But you always get hyped for it. Um, the first game is tomorrow. My Panthers are hosting the Los Angeles Rams. It's the first playoff game. This is usually the first for my whole life. Usually the first wild card game is usually the worst team in the playoffs is in that game most of the time, and it's the case here. The Panthers are clearly the worst team in the playoffs. They're my team. I love them. They've been a roller coaster of a watch all year. Rice has been up and down all year. It literally got to a point this year where if we played really good one game, we were gonna play terrible the next game. That's not fun to watch as a fan. But it's been a fun season for the most part. Rams are 12-5. Panthers are under 500, 8-9. Last Saturday, the Panthers had to go into Tampa, and if they win that game, they in the playoffs. Of course, they lose. Of course, it was bad weather. Of course, the refs were terrible. Of course, when we really needed a go ahead score, we run a flea flicker inside the 30 with Rico Dowdle and Bryce Young in the rain. That was one of the worst play calls I've seen all year. That was crazy. My prediction for this game, I'm not gonna be this biased Homer fan. I got the Rams winning. The Panthers beat the Rams a few weeks ago in Carolina. It was bad weather. It was definitely rainy conditions. It's pretty much going to be like that tomorrow. I just think we don't have the talent to play with the Rams, and I don't see Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford losing to this team twice. You know what I mean? I think they're gonna try to smack us up. You know what I mean? I do think I do think people don't realize how I'll be careful with the word good, but this Carolina Panthers defense is a little better than people think. They make plays. I think Derek Brown is the best, definitely one of the best defensive players in the playoffs right now. He's been so consistent all year. He's been so valuable for this team. I feel like he tips a pass every game, every other game. I feel like they could get to Matt Stafford. You know what I mean? He's not going to scramble. I think he has 0 scramble yards for the year or something crazy like that. Something, you know what I mean? I think we could get to him, man. I just think it's too much firepower, and I think it's just hard to beat a team twice, especially when you're the worst team. And last time we played them, Bryce was 15 of 20 and threw for 3 touchdowns, 0 picks, and we won by 3 points. We barely won the game, and Bryce played the best game of his professional career. So it's, you know, I'm going with the Rams. Even though, like I said, the weather is going to be, I think they said like a 60% chance of rain. So listen, man, and I'm going to say this about all the games. Pretty much all of these games. I mean, that's the most lopsided one. The Rams are favored by minus 10.5, which is the most that a home underdog has ever been the underdog by. They've never been down by double digits ever. That is just crazy. I mean, this Panther team is just it was a weird season. The NFC South was just drunk all year. But all of these games, I mean, even that Rams Panthers game, people aren't gonna be super shocked if the Panthers win that game. They're just not. And you can say that about every single matchup this weekend and Monday. Nobody's gonna be shocked either way. You can't say that about the wild card. It's always in the playoffs in general. Just going into these playoffs in general, I know it's single game elimination. It's the NFL. It's crazy. Anything can happen. It's crazy every year. But going into the playoffs, there's always a team. Like last year was the Eagles. Last few years it was the Chiefs. You know what I mean? It's always that one team. The Niners a couple years. You know what I mean? It's always these teams that you just would bet like that team's going to the Super Bowl. That team's going to the conference championship game at least. You know what I'm saying? They're just built for it. It's not like that this year. Literally, I would not be shocked at any outcome. Next game, Saturday night, Packers at the Bears. One of the most kind of overrated rivalries to me in terms of how much they talk about this rivalry. I can't think of what's the best Packers Bears. I feel like the best Bears game that I've watched have been this year. I can't remember no phenomenal great Packers Bears game. You know they play in the playoffs. I just don't. They gassed that rivalry up so much. My prediction for this game is the Packers. Like I said, this game is in Chicago. The Packers are favored by minus 1.5. So, you're gonna see with all these lines. All these lines are close. All these lines are close. Vegas think these games are pick 'em. You know what I mean? Pretty much. I got the Packers. Why? I don't think the Bears have a good defense. People can move the ball on them really easy, and the Packers have been their offense. Even though they haven't had a dominant win in a long time this year. Like I'm like the last 8 weeks they've been great in the first half, bad in the second half, bad in the first half, great in the second half. It's just a weird team, but Christian Watson has been playing real good. Jordan Love is gonna be back from his concussion. I just think they're gonna be moving the ball on the Bears. I think it'll be a fun game, but I'm going with the Packers, and I still don't trust Caleb. I gotta see it. This is his first playoff game. I need to see it. I gotta see you. You know what I mean? The pressure's gonna be on. You at home. You playing against your rival. I just want to see it. And these coaches, Ben Johnson for the Bears, Matt LaFleur for the Packers, have been throwing shots at each other all season, starting the off season. Ben Johnson kind of made a joke, because Ben Johnson was the offensive coordinator for the Lions last year, for Detroit Lions, another rival of the Packers. And he made a joke when he got hired that he loves beating Matt LaFleur twice every year. Now he's with the Bears, really their rival, right? Matt LaFleur was asked about this, I think, on a podcast over the summer. And when they asked him about it, he was like, I don't even know who Ben Johnson is. So, you know, that I like stuff like that. I like, we don't get stuff like that, man. You used to get stuff like that back in the day. I think we need beefs and rivalries, man. I like it. Even though I just act like the Packers Bears wasn't that great of a rivalry. Sunday afternoon, 1:00. Bills at Jags. Bills at Jags. Bills favorite -1.5. Jacksonville, you could argue Jacksonville has been playing the best out of any team the last 5 or 6 weeks, definitely to close out the season. They've been on both sides of the ball. They've been really good. Trevor Lawrence going into the season, everybody was like, it was, is he going to get benched going into this year? But he turned it all around and he could erase everything with a great playoff run. And they've been playing really good. Like, the only reason you're not picking them is because you don't trust Trevor Lawrence. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence yet. I don't. I just need to see it. I just want to see him do it. Last time he was in the playoffs, the Chargers was killing them the whole game. Wild card. Chargers choke. Jaguars come in, squeeze it out. Trevor wasn't great. He made some good plays at the end, but he wasn't great. And then they played the Chiefs the next round, and I can't really remember what happened in that game, but I just want to see him do it. I just want to see him play really good in the playoff game. I just want to see him do it for an entire game. I just want to see him do it. Josh Allen, on the other hand, so I'm predicting the Bills to win this game because I still don't trust the quarterback of the Jazz. I still don't trust Trevor Lawrence. Josh Allen, on the other hand, I thought he was. Everybody was picking him to win MVP. I thought he was going to be a pretty strong candidate, but his team's not that good. They signed Brandon Cooks, who should have been out the league 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I thought every year I think Brandon Cooks retired, and I see he's on the team in like week 12. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And he was important for them to close the season. Brandon Cooks, they just signed him towards the end of the season. I don't think the team's very good. They're kind of James Cook or bust. You know what I mean? And even though I think Josh is going to try to sling it tomorrow, on Sunday, I think he's going to try to go into Jacksonville and win. But narrative-wise, for Josh Allen, no Patrick Mahomes in his playoffs, no Lamar Jackson, no Chiefs, no Ravens. Go to the Super Bowl, bro. Just narrative-wise. I know football-wise, the Jaguars obviously have the better team than the Bills, right? So, like, football-wise, you're talking analytics, nobody's going to kill the Bills in that sense if they lose in Jacksonville to a better team. But narrative-wise, in the barbershops, on the TV shows, on here, if Josh Allen loses to Trevor Lawrence, when Patrick Mahomes is not in the playoffs, the guy who's been beating you the last, 3 years in a row, 4 years in a row, got to go to the Super Bowl. Go into Jacksonville, kick his butt, man. Please. Just for the narrative, they're going to kill Josh Allen. They are going to eviscerate him if he loses, no matter how good he plays. If he loses in Jacksonville Sunday afternoon, they're definitely going to kill him. Next game, 4:00 game, 4:30 game, I think. Niners at Eagles. Okay, Eagles. This is the next biggest line. The Eagles are favorite -5.5. My prediction for this game is for the Eagles. I predict the Eagles to win. The Niners defense is too injured. They've been signing people that other teams have been cutting. You know what I mean? To just fill in places on their defense at the end of the season. The Bears was just moving the ball on them on that Sunday night game a few weeks ago. I just don't. I think their defense is too depleted. I think this is the perfect matchup for the Eagles in terms of their offense going up against this lethargic Eagles, stressful to watch, hard to watch Eagles offense. This is the best defense for them to go up against. You're at home, 4:00 on a Sunday. This is the perfect, this is the game where they could put up 30 points. You know what I mean? And they got the best defense in the league to me. They got a healthy defense right now. The defense is healthy. They lock, they loaded. I think it's the perfect matchup for the Eagles, man. Plus, Christian McCaffrey had the most touches this year, right? He's a running back. He didn't look good the last couple games in terms of just physically how he looked. He had the back problem the last few weeks. when you're a running back, we see it all the time. We've seen it with him. We've seen it with Saquon this year. We've seen it with Derrick Henry. When running backs have those heavy toes, it's hard for them to continue in the playoffs and definitely the next year. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just hard. He had a lot of wear and tear this year. He looked banged up. Trent Williams, their best lineman, one of the best linemen in the league, probably not going to play. But if he does play, he's going to be hurt. I think I think they're going to get to Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy is going to throw 2 picks in this game. I think they're going to try to pressure him early. And for the Eagles, they get back their lineman, Lane Johnson, who's the best lineman in the league. He's one of the most valuable players in the league. Literally, they play differently when he's in the game. He's that valuable. So I got the Eagles. Next game, Sunday night, Chargers at the Patriots. Okay. Patriots favorite -3.5. My prediction for this game is the Patriots. Drake May probably gonna win MVP. It's definitely between him and Matthew Stafford for MVP. Those are definitely gonna be 1 and 2. McCaffrey probably be 3rd. Trevor Lawrence 4th. Josh Allen 5th. That'll probably be the top 5 for MVP. I'm predicting the Patriots. Why? The other team's QB is playing with a broken hand. That simple. If the Patriots lose this game at home, their whole season, people are gonna clown them. They all year people have been saying that they've had the easiest schedule. They ain't played nobody. Every time they play a good team, they look they don't look as good. The Chargers have not been looking good, but somehow they're 11-6. You know what I mean? I think they're well coached for sure. I think this is a great coaching matchup too. Vrabel versus Harbaugh. I think this is a great coaching matchup. I'm going with the Patriots. This is a Sunday night game. I can't wait to watch this, man. I cannot wait to see Drake May. Sunday night, first playoff game. I can't wait. Monday night, Texans at the Steelers. Texans are favored in Pittsburgh -3 by a field goal. Real quick, they've been doing the Monday night games the last few years. My gut reaction to it is I don't like it. I just want the games to be on the weekends, just because that's how I grew up with it. I can't wait to watch this Monday night game though. In Pittsburgh, I just can't wait to watch this game. My prediction is the Steelers. Why? I kind of just like the vibe of the Steelers right now for some reason. I just like how they look at Aaron Rodgers just always has swag. Mike Tomlin always has swag. They're at home. It's Monday night. Oh my God, it's just gonna be, that place is gonna be loud. That place is gonna be loud. And they get DK Metcalf back. They haven't had in the last couple of games because of that weird thing he got into with the fan. They got him suspended a couple games. And I still don't trust the same thing. The reason I'm not picking the Jaguars, the same reason I'm not picking the Texans, even though they have the better team than the Steelers, especially the Texans, for the most part, had the best defense all year. Definitely a top 3 defense. I just don't trust CJ Stroud like that. And I don't trust their offense as a whole. I don't know. Their running game is always weird. Oh dang, what's their running back's name? He literally gets hurt every game. Who's the running back for the Texans? I'm sorry, I gotta figure this out. Running back for the Texans, he literally gets hurt every Woody Marks. Woody Marks literally, it was like 7 straight weeks he was leaving games early. I just don't trust him. And I just don't trust CJ Stroud on the road. D'Amico Ryan's on the road. There's just a lot of stuff that's a little iffy. And the thing with the Steelers, right? The thing with the Steelers, so how the Steelers got into the playoffs, they had to beat the Ravens on Sunday Night Football this past Sunday. It was in Pittsburgh. The Steelers had a real priest, come onto the field and put holy water onto the field. Now, the way the Steelers won the game is that the Ravens missed a 44-yard field goal. They should have got a little closer. They could have got a little closer. They should have tried to. They missed the field goal a little wide right. The priest was throwing holy water in that end zone before the game. I'm assuming that the Steelers knew that they were going to be on that end zone, so I guess they just wanted some weird stuff to happen in their favor. So they had the priest throw holy water, and it looked like it worked. It went wide right. He missed it. The poor kicker for the Ravens started crying right after he missed it. I felt bad for the dude, man. Yeah. And I don't like to bet against God. You know what I'm saying? I'm not betting against God, and it kind of reminds me of ironically, the Steelers, when they lost to Tim Tebow in 2011 in the playoff, Tim Tebow, who was terrible and was terrible in that game, and they end up winning, and he immediately started praying. And I remember going, God does love football. God loves football. Tim Tebow just beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. That's still like one of the most shocking. Like, no, I think I could look it up. I'm not gonna look it up, but I think Pittsburgh was favored by 14 and a half or something like that. It was crazy. It was so crazy, man. And then the next week, I remember I remember the Broncos, Tim Tebow and the Denver Broncos went to New England, and it was like they're not about to beat Tom Brady in New England, are they? But you thought about it for a minute. It's like you can't beat God, man. That's it, man. That's the wild card preview. Those are all 6 games. So I got the Rams beating the Panthers, Packers beating the Bears, Bills beating the Jags, Eagles beating the Niners, Patriots over the Chargers, and I got the Steelers beating the Texans at home on Monday night. Let's see if I go 6 for 6. I pretty much went chalk too. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't have any upset. I picked the favorites, which is stupid. Um, you know what I mean? Because that never happens. It's definitely gonna be a stupid upset. And if I had to, I'm not gonna lie. If I had to pick like a stupid upset, it would be that Panthers game. Like a dumb upset, like all of a sudden at halftime, going into the half, Matt Stafford got 2 picks because one ball got tipped. You know what I mean? Just something stupid could happen. You know what I mean? Like, um, the 2 teams with buys are obviously the Broncos and the Seahawks. My predictions, I really don't have a Super Bowl prediction. I'm kind of a coward. I really don't have a Super Bowl prediction. Because it's so weird. And I'm gonna be on here tomorrow night and a Sunday night, like I said. Um, Nobody really trusts the Broncos though. You really don't see a lot of people picking the Broncos, even though they got the number 1 seed in the AFC to go to the Super Bowl. They got a great defense. They can run the ball. That's usually a sign of you got home field advantage through the through your conference. You can run the ball. You play defense. People usually pick that team to go to the Super Bowl. But same thing with the Jags. Same thing with the Texans. The reason people ain't picking them, you don't trust Bo Nix. Just don't trust them. You don't trust them. So I don't know. I do like Seattle though, man. I do like Seattle. I trust Sam Darnold more than other people, even though he has bad moments, but he looks terrible. You know what I mean? And I could have said the same thing about Jalen Hurts. But I'll talk about that Sunday after the game. But yeah, so yeah, that's it, man. I can't wait. I can't wait. I love the playoffs. I live for this. I haven't talked about the NFL since week 7. So I need to get it in. And I got that over in about 20 minutes. So yeah, the season was great. I really enjoyed the season this year. It was weird. Obviously, I didn't like seeing the whole Chiefs thing go the way it went with Mahomes end up getting hurt. Um, my Panthers made the playoffs for the first time in what 8 years. I'm happy, man. I'm definitely happy. So that's it for the wild card round. The last thing I wanted to do, a little gimmick, a little side thing I wanted to do, and I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna try not to talk about this too long, but I'm a diehard sports fan, man. I'm a crazy sports fanatic. I watch sports every day. You know what I mean? And I've been doing it for a long time. I would say like around like 12 years old is when I started religiously watching sports, especially the NBA. And then by the time I got to high school, I was religiously watching the NFL. Like I'm into it every day. I'm listening to stuff, reading stuff. You just get really into it. And one of the things I do when I meet people and I really get to know them, and I see they're close to being a diehard sports fan like me, and you really root for your team. Like I'm a Carolina Panthers fan. I'm a diehard Boston Celtic fan. You know what I mean? I definitely got to start talking more NBA real soon. NBA heating up. My Celtics one of the best teams in the league right now. Jaylen Brown is top 3 MVP candidate right now. But my point is, when I meet people, I'll ask them at some point, yo, man, what's your worst sports moment as a fan? Your worst sports loss, the worst you felt as a fan, the worst you felt about your team, worst you felt as a fan. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really how you find out how people know how to talk about sports. That's how I find out, like what you've been through, how much you know, because that determines how you talk about sports. You know what I mean? Like, um, so I'm gonna talk about my top three worst ones, the ones that hurt me the most, the ones that not necessarily even I've been like the most angry about, but you just hurt. Like it hurts your feel. Like to this day when I think about them, it like hurts. You know what I mean? I had a great life where this is like some of the worst stuff I can experience is sports losses with people who I don't know playing games. But um I'm gonna do a couple honorable mentions. Uh so the Panthers made the Super Bowl in 2016, made the Super Bowl. 2015 season, but played the Super Bowl 2016. Lost to the Broncos. Obviously, Cam Newton had the bad, didn't go for the fumble, the Von Miller strip sack or whatever. That game, like that's like so like people would think like you a Panthers fan, y'all lost in the Super Bowl. That gotta be a worse loss. Not really, because we didn't play great in the second half. That's one of the best defenses I've ever seen. I mean, Von Miller, that's one of the best defensive players I've ever seen. He's dominant. He was dominant then. That was peak Von Miller. And yeah, it just wasn't. It was more obviously you disappointed, you hurt, and you know you probably not gonna get back there. It's just so hard, especially in football. But it's just so hard to get back. But I just remember in that 2016 Super Bowl, I just remember in the first half all them drops, man. The receivers, man, we had bad weapons that year, man, and still got to the Super Bowl because of our defense. And Cam was making so many plays, just a playmaker that year. He was so clutch that year, man. And then in the next loss is with my Celtics, 2022 NBA Finals. Again, you would think I'm a Celtic fan. That was more recent. That was a great playoff run though for the 2022 Celtics. But we lost to Hall of Famers. You know what I'm saying? We lost to the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? We lost to Steph Curry playing great. Steve Kerr outcoached Udoka in that series to me. And I think Udoka is the best coach in the league right now, but he got outcoached in that series. Steve Kerr was coming up with different lineups on the fly in the middle of a quarter, playing lineups they ain't played all year, just figuring stuff out, and it was messing us up. You know what I'm saying? But we was up 2-1. You know what I mean? We had a crazy playoff run that year. We had started our first 30 something games, 40 something. The first half of the season, we was 500 or a little below 500, I think. And we finished the season as what? We ended up being like the fourth seed, third or fourth seed. Like we ended up being the fourth seed. Like we ended up playing great. We ended up having the best defense going into that year. Get to the finals. And then you lose to the Warriors. We up 2-1, and we just didn't look good those last 3 games, man. That was bad. But, I knew we would be back, and we ended up winning it again 2 years later. But I'm going to get to what happened the next year after we went to the finals. But so I'm going to get to my top 3 worst sports losses. At number 3, and this is kind of weird because this is the 2015 Kentucky versus Wisconsin Final Four game. I'm not a Kentucky basketball fan, right? But I followed a few of those teams really closely. The John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins team. I watched every game I could watch. Okay, I was pissed when they lost to West Virginia in the Elite Eight game. To the head coach of the Boston Celtics now, Joe Mazzulla was on that team. I was pissed. I wanted Duke. I either wanted Kentucky versus Michigan State that year or Kentucky versus Duke that year. You know what I mean? Ended up being Duke and Butler. You know what I mean? I just was like, man, how did we lose? I mean, I was talking like we, but how did John Wall, Eric Bledsoe, and Boogie Cousins lose to this I didn't know anything about that West Virginia team. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't that into college sports at that time. You know, I'm really not now, but I definitely wasn't then. And I was a huge DeMarcus Cousins guy. Obviously, I love John Wall. John Wall his mixtape was legendary. But to this day, I love DeMarcus Cousins. I think he should have. I think that was one of the worst versions of his career that turned out. Like, I think if you play his career out and he doesn't go to Sacramento, he went to. I don't know if you could have went to a worse organization in 2010 than the Sacramento Queens, man. Like, just ridiculous, terrible organization to this day. Right now, terrible. Terrible. They're probably going to trade for John Morant and probably ruin the rest of his career. You know what I mean? Anyway, followed that 2010 Kentucky team close. The 2014 team had Julius Randle. That was the Harrison twins' first year. James Young, who ended up getting drafted by the Celtics. I watched every game that team played. So when you watch every game, you catching up. And it's so much hype with those teams. It was, people thought Julius Randle could be the top 3 pick that year. I think he ended up being top 10 pick for sure. You know what I mean? It was so much hype with those teams. They was on national TV every week. You just get caught up. You end up watching the games. That team ended up getting into the national tournament. And they ended up being, they was like an 8 seed. They were so shaky that regular season, that 2014 team. And they ended up making it all the way to the championship game and losing to UConn. The first Final Four game was against Wisconsin. And fast forward to next year, 2015, same thing, Kentucky versus Wisconsin, the first Final Four game. But anyway, that Kentucky team in 2014, they ended up losing to UConn. That was that Ryan Boatwright, Shabazz Napier, Kevin Ollie was the coach, right? You know what I mean? But I wasn't so upset because that Kentucky team was they deserved to be there, but they was playing so bad in the regular season. Yet y'all was an 8 seed for a reason. And that team, they was picking them up full court. You know, they was playing a double guard. They was playing 3-guard lineups. That UConn team out coaching John Calipari, which is a thing with him. He gets out coached. As a guy who watched a lot of Kentucky games, he got out coached a lot. So that team lost. The next year, the 2014-15 Kentucky Wildcat basketball team, I watched every game they played that year. Maybe missed 1 or 2 games. Watched every game. Again, not a Kentucky basketball fan, but I watched every game. This Kentucky team in 2015, Devin Booker, Karl-Anthony Towns, Willie Cauley-Stein, Harrison Twins came back. Tyler Ulis, one of my favorite college players ever, Tyler Ulis. Only played 2 years, should play all 4 years at Kentucky, I thought. Who else was on that team? Trey Lyles was on that team. Who else am I missing on that team? Alex Poitras, who ended up playing in the NBA. Like that team was stacked. Again, super hyped, like the last year Kentucky team. Projected to be the number 1 seed. Went into that year being the number 1 seed. Duke was definitely a top 3 team. Going into that year, these are the 2 most hyped teams. Kentucky was on national TV every week, and I think that was the year they started the SEC network. So if you were subscribed to ESPN Plus, you could just watch every SEC game. So I was watching every game. And again, you get caught up in the team, you watching every game. That team went undefeated. That team did not lose a game the entire year. The entire year until they got to the Final Four to play Wisconsin. I was hurt. Number 3 is this game. This is my number 3 worst sports loss, and I'm not even a fan of this team. I was hurt. Like, they was way better than that team. That Wisconsin team had Frank Kaminsky, 7-footer, Sam Decker, he was almost a 7-footer. Just a weird team. Again, I feel like John Calipari was getting outcoached a little bit, but this game is in my top 10 sporting events that I was watching where I'm like, this game looked fixed. Everybody had Kentucky winning that game. I ain't gonna say everybody, but a lot of people, Kentucky was just, people were saying this was the best college team ever. And I think that team is one of the best teams. I mean, they went undefeated, man. They did have the SEC that's probably the weakest SEC basketball year of my lifetime. That was a super weak year. But like I said, this game was a lot of bad calls. There was a terrible traveling call that was obvious in real time, and they were showing the replay. It's even triple obvious, and they still didn't overturn it. It was terrible. I was losing my mind. I was pissed. And again, I'm not a fan of this team. I don't bleed blue. I don't bleed Kentucky blue. I cared about this team. I was falling in love with the players. Love Devin Booker, man. Like, I was rooting for him, man. Like, so they ended up losing. But like I said, I was rooting for all these dudes, man. Like, Devin Booker ended up being the 13th pick in the draft. I thought that was ridiculous in real time. It was ridiculous. Because that year, John Calipari it was terrible in real time to me. But it didn't matter because they was winning. They were so deep. But they were doing this platoon system. Have 5 guys in, sub 5 guys in, sub 5 guys out, doing that. They was doing that until they started having injuries halfway through the season. And it was just bad. That's how their rhythm was always off. It was just really bad. But his idea was, we want to be dominant defensively. We want to be just completely dominant defensively, just long athletes out here guarding you. We got 10 great athletes. We're going to pick you up full court just aggressively all game. But offensively, they never could have a rhythm. Devin Booker was by far by far their best offensive player, and they never ran stuff for him. Like never until like the end of the year they started doing stuff like that. And then the tournament, like it was just bad. Like they was bringing Devin Booker off the bench. He was the only player on that team, along with Karl Anthony Towns too, that could create their own shot. And they never let him do it. I get his college is different. It's not the NBA, but they just never ran stuff for him. I know that had to bother. But again, they was undefeated, so it didn't matter. So you couldn't complain too much. But like I said, they end up getting to the Final Four and losing to that Wisconsin team, and it just still blows me to this day. Number 2, my Celtics. 2023 Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7. Celtics versus the Heat. It was in Boston. This was hard not to put number 1, man. This is honestly, you could easily tie this with my number 1. I don't even like talking about this. Like I'm not even job. This makes me feel. I hate thinking about this season. I hate it. Going into this season, so the year before we go to the finals, 2022, lose to the Warriors in 6 games. Going into the next year, everybody picking the Celtics to win the championship. The Celtics gonna win 60+ games. Tatum can win MVP. Udoka's gonna be coach of the year. Like everybody was saying that. A week before training camp starts, Ime Udoka gets fired. I remember where I was at when I saw that. Ime Udoka gets fired. Joe Mazzulla is the head coach. I didn't even know who he was. He was on the second row of the bench the year before, and now he's the head coach of a team that people think are supposed to win the championship. Bad start to the season. Go through the season. We end up winning 60 games. I think we ended up winning that year. 60. We definitely ended up winning at least 60 games that year. But people still questioning the coach. I'm questioning the coach. I'm questioning our team. Are we tough enough? I don't know. Go through the playoffs. I don't even remember who we played in the first. We played the Hawks in the first round, 2023. I think we played the Hawks in the first round. End up going 6 games with them and shouldn't have. We end up losing game 5. Yeah, we end up losing game 5 to the Hawks in Boston without Trae Young. Trae Young didn't even play. DeJounte Murray ended up killing us in that game. Like we was having losses like that all year, losing the teams we shouldn't lose to. End up going 6 games with the Hawks in the first round for no reason. Second round went 7 games with the Sixers. Almost lost, was down 3-2 in Philly, was getting killed. Tatum's having his worst playoff game of his career. Ends up turning it up. I don't remember how many points he scored in the last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter. Ended up carrying us to a win. We squeezing that out, and then Tatum has 50 points in game 7. I was hyped. It was Mother's Day. That was one of my favorite sports wins, man. Just for the next series to play the team I actually hate the most in the NBA as a Celtic fan. Like, as a Celtic fan, I'm supposed to hate the Lakers the most. I don't. We've been beating them most of my time as being a fan of them. They've been a joke most of the time I've been a fan of the NBA. The Lakers have. They have. I mean, maybe it's balanced out a little more now, but for a long time, the Lakers were a laughingstock until LeBron got there. Just straight up. When Kobe got old, that team, that front office did terrible work. Point being, I don't hate them. I don't have to hate them. I don't have that many battles with them, except for the one I'm mentioning after this. The Knicks, they've been trash most of my time. You know what I mean? They just got lit. You know what I mean? Like, for real. You know what I mean? I hate the Miami Heat. We played the Miami Heat. In 2010, we played the Miami Heat. 2011, the Celtics played the Miami Heat. 2012, we played the Miami Heat. 2020 in the bubble, we played the Miami Heat. 2022 and 2023, we played them. We played them. It felt like every year we was playing them. And I hate Eric Spoelstra because he's so great of a coach. He always figuring out weird new stuff to do, throwing weird zones that people haven't seen ever. You know what I mean? I hate seeing Pat Riley and Alonzo Mourning looking like mobsters sitting on the side. I just hate it. You know what I'm saying? I hate the Heat. So we end up playing them in the conference finals 2023. Everybody has us dominating this team. This Heat team shouldn't even been there. They played the Bucks in the first round. They beat the Bucks because Giannis gets hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, Giannis gets hurt. This Heat team who was in the play-in, I think they were in the play-in. They're in the play-in. They end up making it to the conference finals. Everybody thinks we're going to smack them. I think we're going to smack them a little bit, but there's a part of me that's like, I think this team is tougher than us. I think this team is going to try to punk us, and I think we could be punked. And we got punked. We end up being down 3-0 in the series. home court advantage. The Miami Heat are up 3-0 on the mighty Boston Celtics, man. At that point, I was like, I ain't even gonna lie. I was at a point where I'm like, I can't do this no more. I can't be this into a team. I'm getting older. I have a life now. I can't be this hell bent and hung on a team losing and not winning. I just wanted to see my team win the championship. I thought this was a great year for us. You know what I mean? Even though Denver was sitting right there and Joker was on another level. You know what I mean? But I just thought we had a good chance, and now we down 3-0 to this bum zombie cockroach Miami Heat team. The Celtics end up winning the next 3 games, tying the series up 3-3. Game 6 in Miami, Derek White has a crazy putback layup at the buzzer, literally barely gets it off his fingertips. Makes it. We tie the series up 3-3. Nobody in the history of the NBA has ever came back from a 3-0 deficit in the playoffs. You hear it every year. It's only happened once in baseball, and I think like twice in hockey. The other time it happened in baseball, the only time it happened in baseball was with a Boston team, the Boston Red Sox in 2004 versus the Yankees. So what happened game 7 in Boston versus the Miami Heat after we won 3 straight and about to be the first team to come back from a 3-0 deficit? They had every Boston sports legend in the house. I can't remember it. I don't think Larry Bird was there. But I think they had Bill Russell's casket there at the game. They was propping his body up to root for the Celtics. Like, everybody thought we were going to win. It just felt poetic. Like, even people who hated the Celtics in my life was like, man, y'all going to win this. Y'all better than this team. Y'all shouldn't have even been down 3-0. We get smacked. We get smacked. Game 7. This is my second loss. 2023. I can't even speak. 2023 Eastern Conference Finals Game 7. This is my second worst loss. I was done. I was definitely after this game like, I don't know if I could do this, man. I don't know if I could do it. We got smacked. By the end of the first quarter, it wasn't a game. I knew it was over. I went upstairs and almost started crying. I'm a grown man. I'm about to get emotional about a basketball team, man. It was just, and we end up getting smacked, and then then they end up losing in the finals to the Nuggets. One of the worst finals ever. One of the least watched finals ever. Just terrible. Just bad. Number 1, and I'm gonna get out of here. I've been going 42 minutes. So it's gonna be less than an hour. Number 1 worst sports loss of my life. 2010. And I don't even need my phone for this. 2010 NBA Finals, Game 7, Celtics Lakers in LA. Kobe Bryant, Pau Gasol, Bynum, Phil Jackson, Derek Fisher, Ron Artest, Lamar Odom, Sasha Vujacic, Shannon Brown. Who else was playing in that series for them? Jordan Farmar, you know what I mean? Like I said, it was in LA, Game 7. 2010 Celtics, man. The 2010 Celtics, this was the 3rd year of the new Big 3 Celtics, the KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen Celtics. Rondo had emerged at this point as the best player on the team. He was the best player on the team in 2010. Straight up. That was his first year being an All-Star. I don't think he led the league in assists, but he averaged a double-double that year. Started off the season good. Second half of the season that year, in 2010, we were 500. I think we were 25-25 to end the season. Not good. Didn't go into the playoffs strong. Went into the playoffs as a 4th seed, and nobody thought we was going to the finals. This was another year of people thinking we was going to get LeBron versus Kobe in the finals. The 2 best players in the league are going to go to the finals. LeBron had won his 2nd straight MVP in 2010. Like I said, everybody thought they was going to smack us. And they had smacked us that year in the regular season in Boston, I think. The Cavs, LeBron had a crazy, I don't want to speak out of turn, but going into the playoffs, first round of the playoffs, we played the Miami Heat. Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat. We ended up beating them in 5 games. Game 4, I remember Dwayne Wade had like 46. He had like 6 threes, like 5 or 6 threes. Killed us in that game. Just came out just trying to kill us in that game. Move on to the next round. We're playing the Cavaliers. They have home court advantage out. They had number 1 seed. LeBron's MVP. They won 60 games. Back-to-back years, 60 back-to-back 60 wins, back-to-back MVP for LeBron. A lot of people were picking the Cavs. But I'm telling y'all, 14-year-old Sean had a feeling. 14-year-old Sean had a feeling. I knew LeBron had no help. I knew LeBron had nobody else on that team that could confidently create another shot. They had home court advantage. We lose game 1. I have great memory. I'm going off the dome. Game 1, Cavs Celtics was the same night as when Floyd Mayweather fought Sugar Shane Mosley, because my uncle was having a fight party, and my mom and her husband at the time, my stepdad, they were going to my uncle's house to watch the fight. And they was like, "You come watch the fight." And I love Floyd, but I was like, I can't miss the Celtics game. So I stayed home, watch the game. We ended up losing game 1. But I remember still feeling good. Like, we lost game 1. We was in the whole game. I think Rondo had like a 25-point triple-double, 25-point double-double for sure. And game 2, Rondo had 19 assists, I think. We ended up blowing the Cavs out game 2. Game 3 in Cleveland. I know I'm going through the whole Celtics 2010 playoff run. Just roll with me, please. This is my favorite Celtic team ever that didn't win a championship. I love this team. I remember everything about this playoff run. Game 3 is on a Friday night. Game 3 in Boston. Cavs Celtics. LeBron has 24 points in the first quarter. They end up blowing us out. And I was like, they're going to kill us. They're going to kill us. And Monday at school, I'm going to get killed. I'm going to get destroyed. They're going to kill. And game 4, Rondo had 29 points, 18 rebounds, 13 assists. He destroyed the Cavs. We end up beating them. And then we end up beating them the rest of the series. And the famous shot that you see every year, I feel like they show it somewhere on SportsCenter, LeBron taking off his jersey in Boston, and that ended getting him sent. We ended up building the Miami Heat off of that. We created the 2010 free agency. We ended up sending LeBron to Miami after that. You know what I'm saying? The next round, we played the Magic, and we ended up beating them in 6 games, and we should have beat them. We should have swept them. We was up 3-0 and ended up we almost beat them game 4. They ended up winning. They ended up beating us in game 5. We destroyed them in game 6. Get to the NBA Finals. It's a rematch of the 2008 NBA Finals. Lakers Celtics, probably the best rivalry in the history of sports. Kobe, like I said, Phil Jackson, Rondo, KG, Doc Rivers, Celtics. This is big, 2010. And this series was like the last traditional basketball series. This is when basketball changes. LeBron goes to the Heat. You know what I mean? This is when Amari goes to the Knicks. This is when basketball starts to change. This is the last series where it was all defense. Like, in this series, if you went up by 7 points in this 7-game series that it ended up being, if you went up by 7 points, it was like being up 15 points. It was hard to get 2 straight good looks in that series, man. And I remember this series, we ended up losing game 1. They ended up blowing us out. But I remember not really tripping. I remember actually watching this game with my friend Kenny. He came to my house, and I remember losing. I remember telling him, I think we still good, though. I think we good. I remember Kobe had 30, but I was like, I think we good, though. I really think we good. Game 2, Ray Allen hit 7 threes in the first half. Rondo had a 19-point triple-double. We ended up squeezing it out. Game 3, Lakers ended up winning on a BS Derek Fisher and one layup, and he hit some big shots at the end. Derek Fisher was just clutch. I couldn't stand him. Game 4 and 5, we ended up winning. Kobe had great games in game 4 and 5. I remember he was hitting some tough shots. Like I said, you had to be a tough shot maker in this series, and Kobe is the best tough shot maker ever. You know what I mean? And he was hitting some crazy shots. Game 6, so this was the 2-3-2 format where the team with home court advantage in the finals. First 2 games are in your place. The next 3 games are – so the first 2 games were in L.A., next 3 games were in Boston. Last 2 games, game 6 and 7, are in LA. Game 6, Lakers blow us out. That game was over right away. They ended up just spanking us. And Kendrick Perkins, our starting center, tears his ACL in that game. Tears his ACL and can't play in game 7. We get to game 7, and we're starting Rasheed Wallace at center. And I could be mistaken. I think Rasheed Wallace pulled his back like the first minute of the game. And you could see it. He was like pulling at his back. He had back problems that whole year. We had Rasheed Wallace on his team that year. He came and he was pulling at his back the whole first quarter. And I'm just like, we already undersized with this team. They got 2 7-footers, Bynum and Gasol. They was killing us on the boards that whole series. Now we had to play Sheldon Williams in a game 7. We had to play Sheldon Williams in a game 7. I was so pissed. Big Baby Glenn Davis, who, if the Celtics would have won this series, you could argue Big Baby would have won Finals MVP because nobody other than Kobe played great in that series. I mean, Powell had a great game 7, which is why a lot of people think he should have won. And Kobe had a terrible game 7. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But Big Baby might have won Finals MVP for the Celtics. But in game 7, he's going up against 7'2" Andrew Bynum. Big Baby's 6'6". You know what I'm saying? And he's going up against a dude that's almost a foot taller than him, but he's fighting his butt off, man. But in the game, we're beating them in this game, man. We up in this game, man. Like I said, we wasn't going up by 20, but we keeping it 5 to 8 points. We beating them. We just got an upper hand on them. We getting the balls going our way, and I'm just like, oh my God, if we could beat this team and win this game, KG's gonna have 2 rings. Rondo might win Finals MVP. You know what I mean? That whole year was vindication for me. Rondo's probably my favorite basketball player ever that I rooted for, especially. It was just vindication that whole playoffs. That whole year especially, but that whole playoffs, like, yo, this dude is legit. I told y'all this dude is serious. He's carrying his team, man. And in the finals, he started having back issues. He had a great game too, but really wasn't good the rest of the series. And in game 7, you could kind of see it. But like I said, we was up, man. We was playing so good, man. Ended up being up 11 or 13 points in the fourth quarter. And like I said, man, Kobe Bryant was terrible in the first half of this game, to the point where it's all Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson are talking about in the game. The 2 commentators. They keep talking about, why is he taking these shots? Why is he throwing these passes? Why is he was playing so bad? I'm like, we have to win this game. We have to win this game. And like I said, we was up double digits in the fourth. And they end up chipping away. Derek Fisher hits a big 3. Ron Artest hits a big 3. They end up winning the game 83-79. And I started crying. I was 14 years old. You know what I'm saying? I did not have a life. I watched every game this year. That year, bro, I don't have a life now. I really didn't have a life when I was 14. I was miserable. That ruined my summer. That was the worst. To lose to Kobe, to see Kobe after the game going, I don't know how we won that game. Like, he was saying it. He was saying it. I was terrible. I don't know how we won that game. The Lakers did not play good. They scored 83 points. I know we scored 79, but we had them. We were on the road. We were missing our center. We just had it. That's my worst sports loss, man. I'll never forget it. I go back and watch games all the time. I've gone back and watched that game at least once. I know it's just really hard for me to, to go back and watch that game over, man. It's really hard. That's like the Kennedy assassination for being a sports fan for me. It's the worst. You know what I mean? It's that was the worst one. But that's it. I've almost went an hour. I could have went way longer, especially just talking about that 2010 series. But that's it. Wild card tomorrow. I hope my Panthers win. I just don't think it's gonna happen, but it would be really nice if we did. That's it, man. It's been another episode of the Broken Clock Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please, if you haven't, please hit subscribe. Please like. Please comment. Keep rocking with me, man. Don't be a hater. Keep rocking with me. That's it. It's been another episode of the Broken Clock Podcast. Peace.